Hi, hello, welcome back to the channel. I've just realized you might be able to see my maple syrup and oat milk sitting here. It's because I insist on drinking my coffee from this dinky little teacup because I just think it's so cute. And I didn't feel like getting up and refilling it all the time. So I just moved my entire coffee bar into my room this morning. This week is busy. Yesterday was Monday, today is Tuesday, as the week usually goes. And as most of you know, I started my new job yesterday, so I'm basically working full time again. I'm still looking for somewhere to move at the end of the month, but I have a few apartment viewings this week, so I'm hoping to get that settled this week. And now, as far as writing goes, we are going to start plotting my next story. I am going to edit while I plot. I'm going to edit both Blood of Amberum as well as Between the Waves. I know that sounds like a lot, but I am the kind of person who has a brain that likes to multitask like that. Like, I like to work on more than one project. It kind of keeps everything fresh and exciting in my brain, I guess, rather than working on one project and only focusing on that. So I already have printed a bunch of Blood of Amberum alpha edits from my alpha readers, who gave incredible feedback, by the way. They've been so wonderful. So I'm going to go through there and start applying those edits to Blood of Amberum. I'm going to at least make a plan for how I'm going to edit Blood of Amberum based on these edits. So I'm basically going to do a structural outline. And then once that structural outline for Blood of Amberum is done, before I start writing it, I think I'm going to do the read through of Between the Waves, because I do need to do the initial read through, but I do want to give that one a little bit more time to sit because I only finished it 4 days ago. So I want to give it at least another week or two to kind of sit, which gives me more than enough time to start to build a structural plan or a structural rewrite plan for Blood of Amberum. That's what's going on with those two finished drafts. Last week, like I mentioned in my previous vlog, I did start the How to Write a Novel structure and outline portion of the course through UBC, the University of British Columbia. So it's like a professional certificate course, teaches you how to start to plot and outline and structure a story. So I've started to do that, and I have also started watching Brandon Sanderson's lecture series again. I started last summer, I think, when I was in Holland, and I watched the first 5, I think. So I watched the first 5. The second and third lectures are both, I think, on plot. I think it's like plot part 1 and plot part 2. So because I am also learning plotting and structure in my professional certificate course right now, I'm also going to re-watch the 2 Brandon Sanderson plotting lectures because they were wildly helpful. I already have notes from them in a notebook somewhere. So I'm going to rewatch them as I'm learning plotting and structuring from UBC, and then it's like I'll be taking 2 plotting and restructuring courses. And I am doing all of this because I plan on doing some more drafting come April. So it is Camp NaNoWriMo in April, which is the first NaNoWriMo event I ever did was Camp NaNoWriMo last year. So I've decided I'm going to do it again, but I think I'm going to set like a super low word count goal, and I'm going to use it rather than the purpose being to hit high word counts. I am instead going to use it to train myself to write consistently. So to form a habit of writing every single day, that is going to be the focus of it. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the vlog because I do have to teach a class in 10 minutes, my first class of the day, and I have an entire work day ahead of me. But that is the basic plan for today, as well as the next few days. I'm going to start organizing, reading through, and starting to develop a rewrite plan for Blood of Amberum. I'm not going to touch Between the Waves. I am going to continue studying my professional certificate class for outlining a novel, as well as rewatch the Brandon Sanderson portion of the lecture series that is about plotting, so that I can start to plot my new novel, which I'm going to start writing in April for Camp NaNoWriMo. I will also talk more about what that new novel entails later on in the vlog because it is different than the first 2 that I have written. First we did fairies and witches, then we did pirates. This one is completely different again. So we'll talk about that a little later now because I have to prep for my class. So Spotify just went down. I like couldn't figure out what was going on because Spotify just logged me out. I didn't remember any of my passwords, and I couldn't find any news about it yet because it literally just happened. I come to Twitter, which I don't come to often, and everyone on Twitter is talking about it being down. So thank God Twitter's here, because people report on shit so quickly. I was gonna have a little dance party, and now I'm gonna have to find the songs I want on YouTube. So I'll have to find a playlist on YouTube, I guess, because Spotify's down. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to. I feel like I started on Twitter. Also, anyone else on like author Twitter, let me know if this is a thing. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. I used to, but not really anymore. I downloaded it again because I was told that a lot of authors are on Twitter and it's a very active place for writers. And I got on there and it's kind of, I don't know if it's really my vibe, because first I went into like the writing community and it was everyone just trying to like basically share and like follow for follow, which is not my vibe. I like kind of followed a few people back because I was like, oh, it's like community. However, those people are just posting like negativity kind of, and things that just aren't, I feel like I'm just very picky when it comes to curating the feeds on my social media because I spend so much time on them. And Twitter is like that whole like follow for follow thing that the writing community seems to do a lot. Not my vibe. So on that note, you can follow me if you want, but I mostly just post my like crackpot theories, and I scream about books that I'm reading on there because I don't really have anyone else to tell that to. So I tell Twitter. So you can follow me if you want, but there's not much on there.
Trick spreader is the ability to convey information in an interesting way.
Creating a shopping list, but it's not an especially creative process. In fact, what Nancy and I want to argue throughout this course is
I cannot begin to express how excited I will be when I no longer live downtown and have to listen to sirens constantly. Couple things to update on. I will make them quick. I haven't gotten very much writing done. I got a tiny bit of writing done, basically just doing some work on some subplots that I want to exist in my next story. I haven't gotten any actual editing done yet, and I've been trying to kind of catch up on the class that I just started last week that I'm already basically behind on. It's just the whole like looking for a house. I mean, last week I was still looking for a job and a house. And then this week, as of yesterday, I had a job, so that was all fine and dandy. But then I was like all weekend, I'm just like constantly looking for apartments. But I would like to report that that is no longer an issue because I found an apartment. So I ended up looking at a unit tonight that I was really excited about, but units in Vancouver go so quickly. Like lately, I will find something that is decent, which is saying a lot for Vancouver because it's very expensive here, for not that great of quality. It's not like New York level, but it's still pretty bad housing. So like every time I would find somewhere that was at least semi-decent, it would be gone within 24 hours. Like people would basically rush out there, or I guess not even see it, and then sign the lease for it. So it was very stressful. But then I went to see one tonight, and I was talking to the landlord, and we were getting along great. And I brought like all my references and my proof of employment and all of that stuff, so I had it with me. And I got there and we were chatting and he was like, yeah, you can have it. I think a couple other people applied, but I was like so diligent. I was like, I need this unit. And also I think I kind of sold him with it because I was like, I'm gonna grow vegetables this summer, and I could see that they had a vegetable garden. So I tried to like bond with him. But either way, I put down the deposit tonight. Literally while I was standing there in the unit, I applied and put down the deposit, and then he just sent me the lease. So I'm gonna read through the lease and then I'm gonna sign it, and then I am going to sleep like I don't have a care in the world, because I have a house and a job that I'm really enjoying, by the way. And I need to get good sleep tonight also, because I promised a friend I would go to the early morning Muay Thai class, which is at 6:30 in the morning. That was a mistake. I don't know why I agreed to do that, but it's too late now. All of that to say that things have a chance to settle now as I'm getting more comfortable with this new job, which I'm already super comfortable with and I'm really enjoying it. And since I now have a job and don't have to worry about income, and since I now have found a house and I'm about to sign the lease, things will settle enough for me to get some sort of schedule and start to get some writing done again, because I am not even kidding you. I was spending hours looking at houses and searching and reaching out to people and going to showings, and it's just taken up so much more of my time than I ever expected to. So I am glad that I am not doing that anymore. So yeah, that is the update for tonight. This feels like it's going to be a long vlog, but it's a very busy week. So I'm going to try and refrain from making all these updates that aren't actually writing related, but I felt like I had to give a reason for why there weren't as many writing vlog updates, because I just haven't had time.
Should prove to you that this is the most important of them. The host of authors kind of have limp beginnings, but really spectacular characters and plot in the middle.
I've just finished watching Brandon Sanderson's Plot Part 1 lecture. As I mentioned, I'm rewatching them. I've already seen the first 5 or 6 lectures, which is about the first half of them, but I'm just rewatching the first part of the plotting, since that's what I'm working on, and I love how he explains things. If you haven't watched the lecture series, you really need to. Not to mention, I'm sure his channel is blowing up right now because of his whole writing 5 books in 2 years or whatever it is. 5 books that he was not supposed to write, but he just felt like writing. And he recently made an announcement about that. So you have so many reasons to go and check out his channel. These lectures are a huge reason, especially for aspiring writers or just writers in general who are trying to improve their craft. He obviously knows what he's doing, but I just love the way he explains things, and I feel like he explains things in a way that my brain understands. I would also like to mention that I forgot he did this because it was months ago that I watched this lecture, but at the end of the Plot Part 1, lecture number 2, he literally uses coding brackets as a way to explain using subplots. Like, you open up a subplot and then another subplot closes and you open up another one, and he uses that as a way to explain plotting, which kind of makes my brain happy, because it's not often that I have such technical explanations overlapping with a creative lecture or a lecture on a very creative subject. So it's always exciting when the logic part of my brain and the creative part of my brain get to interact with each other without fighting and get to work together. I'm rambling. So I'm finishing up this lecture. I've finished work for the day. It's about 6:30. After I finish this lecture, I'm going to eat dinner and I'm going to finish printing off feedback for Blood of Amberum, and then I'm going to start going through all of that feedback and kind of making my own notes on the feedback. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so that leaves us at the end of another day. It's currently 10:30. I need to get ready to go to bed because I definitely wanted to be in bed at a good time tonight, and I still need to like wind down. But I did get all of the comments and feedback from alpha readers for Blood of Amberum. I did get all of that printed off as well as a little bit written out. If you were one of my alpha readers, thank you so much. I literally had no idea what I'm doing. I'm definitely not gonna send out other drafts at such an early stage. I don't necessarily regret it, but I definitely didn't need to send it out. I should have just let it sit and tried to figure things out afterwards. But I did send it out, and luckily I have some really incredible people who are part of my community who gave me some really valuable comments and some really valuable like structural thoughts and ideas, and just pointed out a lot of things that I need to be aware of anyways. So even though it's such an early stage and so much is going to change from here on out, it's literally so valuable to go through all of these things. And as I'm working on my rewriting plan, I'm using these notes. So I kind of have an idea for what the rewrite or what the restructure is going to be. However, I do need to go through these notes one more time, and I also need to make some decisions or do some brainstorming kind of about the themes of the story and also the plot promises that I'm making at the beginning versus what actually happens, because there are some major inconsistencies when it comes to that, which you will know if you were one of the alpha readers. I've also kept another sticky note that has all of the subplots that are not tied off, so they're not finished, and I have a lot to work on and to add and to put into the new plan before I start kind of rewriting this. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna get ready for bed, and I will see you all tomorrow.